Good evening, our viewers, and welcome to our new episode of your daily show Achievements. I'm your host Abdul Latif, and I have with me my colleague Fatma Al Hajari. Good evening, Fatma.
Good evening, Abdul Latif, and good evening, dear viewers. As he just mentioned, this is your program Achievements. Of course, every time we have different guests talking about different topics, so stay tuned after this report. Welcome back, dear viewers. We are here with us with a unique lady with a unique achievement as well. She has a rare gift to create dolls, handcraft figures, and she's an artist with a worldwide reputation. Her achievements not just in Kuwait but all around the world. So please welcome with us Anoud Al. It's a pleasure to have you here in the studios of Achievements.
Thank you. Pleasure's mine. Thank you.
Hello, Anoud. Anoud, we just wanted to say thank you for accepting our invitation to be here with us.
Mine. Thank you.
We wanted to ask you about your early steps in this passion, and how did you start at creating dolls?
I've been creating dolls in my childhood, like any other kid. I've been collecting them, like Barbie dolls, stuffed dolls. And back then I used to play with them, color them, and change heads, you know, like a kid when I was in young age. And one day I was mesmerized by one of my dolls, and I was telling myself, like, I can do my own. So I started gluing a piece of paper on a piece of cloth, and that's how it started. I made my first doll.
Of course, I think that's a very interesting way to start, especially if you're interested in dolls at a very young age. And I think it's creative how you made that piece of paper into a doll, of course. So how did that affect you, your home background? How did that affect you in becoming an artist now?
Honestly, back then, my mom, she's into craft world herself. She's doing gift boxing, paper crafting. So I was using her tools, and she was helping me, and I got my ideas from her. And she's been fascinated and scared at the same time, because I've been like coming with the idea of making dolls. So that was my home ground. So yeah.
Of course, I think that's very important to have support from the family, especially your mother, to actually help you with your achievements and the things that you're interested in. And of course, I think we have a question. I think the first handcraft doll must have been special, right? Yeah. So can you tell us about it?
My first doll was my sister's. It was for her birthday. Her reaction was everything, because she was surprised and happy. So yeah, that was my first doll.
Of course, I think that's amazing that first doll that you actually made, you gifted it to someone who can enjoy it. I think it's beautiful. It's a way of appreciation, showing your love for your sister.
Yeah. It's actually crafty, and I think that means that you are a smart person since you were a kid. And you told us before in the interview also that you did it when you were 9 years old.
That's how I started, yeah.
Yes, but who taught you at first? How did you learn it?
Honestly, I've been like I said, I collect dolls. And I've been mesmerized. Whenever I hold any new doll, like a stuffed Barbie doll, I just look at it and I want to copy it, you know, not just by drawing. Because all of us, like when we were like in kids, we just draw and play with the toys and that kind of stuff. For me, I just want to create. I just want to mix stuff.
You were more handy.
I want to copy. Yes, I was handy. That's that's the word. So.
I think it's very interesting the way you put it. That a lot of kids, you know, they like to paint usually. They don't create stuff. It's very hard for them to put things together, to create a doll, for example. Yes. And when it comes for you, I think sometimes it can be hard to actually create new dolls with new materials. So how do you learn? Do you learn with a YouTube channel? Do you watch videos or other artists who create dolls?
Honestly, back then I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and drawings. I've been watching this kind of videos, drawing, even for sewing machine, how to use the sewing machine, because I was young. So I started with how to use the clay, because I've been using so many materials just to create a doll.
Of course, I think that's interesting to actually use the clay to mold the doll. I think it's very
all about
creative.
Back then.
And you also use your own materials when it comes to the clothing. I can see here on the dolls. It's very interesting because it has like an Arabian background.
It's all textile. So.
Of course, and each one is completely different from the other. And do you think, in a way, do they represent you in life?
Actually, my dolls, like each doll has a story by itself. And you know, like us people, it's to represent people. It represent my imagination. Whenever I do my sketches, whenever I go to a cafe shop and look at the people, look at the fashion shows, and you know,
you get inspired.
I just get inspired by people overall.
It's good. And also, but I wanted to ask also, how much time it take you to create one doll?
Honestly, it depends. Before, everyone thinks it depends on the size. Honestly, no, it depends on the design or the person itself, because I do custom as well for people. So it takes from 3 to a week. The longest doll been make a month.
I think
It was the
that's a
smallest.
very long time
Yeah,
because
it
it takes
is.
a lot of
Yes,
details,
yes.
maybe.
Just go through the details and the mood. It depends.
Of course.
Too
And
long,
the face.
yes.
I think for the artists, usually they have to be
Yeah, it's
in
like
the
I'm
right
doing
mood
it's
to
these
create
like
their
my,
art.
my canvases, you know. Like
Yes.
I'm a painter and I do my art on the waiting to transfer a piece of fabric into art.
Of course.
Did you take also some courses, online courses?
I did actually, but not about dolls. About the drawing, portrait drawings, sewing. Yeah, that's kind of basics I took. So yeah.
So were there other galleries or workshops that you participated in to show your art, especially these amazing dolls?
Actually, I've been participating with a workshop like art, a normal painting artist, and yeah, that's all. But I'm planning to do my own gallery in the future, inshallah. So
And hopefully you will get an invitation to come and see it. I think because their work, it's very artistic, it's kind of unique, it has its own style, and I think a lot of people really appreciate this kind of art.
yeah.
And also, I know a lot of people who actually collecting these types of dolls. But you started a business, right?
Yeah.
When
did.
exactly?
I started back in college, and I used to have like a booth, you know, this kind of weekly exhibits for both whoever having this kind of handcrafting, food, this kind of every weekly they doing this for the students. So I had my booth and I've been presenting a keychain size dolls, and one of the my customer back then, one of the students come to me and he just requested his own doll. Also the rest of his friends, the Duaniyas, as a keychain doll.
I think it's very interesting
Yeah.
because it's beautiful the way you created these dolls and to make them into keychains. I think
Yes.
it's very cute because you imagine like you have a keychain with a doll
Yeah.
that represents yourself
It's
or
like
your
phone
friends.
size.
Yeah, of course.
That's
and I think
big.
No, it's like size.
it's kind of petite and small.
Yeah, you can hold it even for the car hanger. So that's the idea of it as a keychain.
Of course. And do you plan on giving classes when it comes to creating these dolls? Because I think a lot of our dear viewers can be really interested in learning how to create such amazing dolls.
Of course, I'm gonna give for 2 levels, all levels, because the dolls
It can be very hard.
Yeah, it's very
I
hard.
can't
It needs
imagine.
time. So
Yes.
the advanced level also as well is gonna be not that for the basics. I'm gonna teach. Yeah, inshallah, I'm
Of
gonna
course.
do.
I think especially the girls who are watching are really interested to know why is 2 of the dolls in black hair but one of them is blonde, because you have black hair, so I'm wondering, I'm just asking, is it like a family member? Do you have a family member that you usually copy, like create a doll based on her character? Because sometimes, you know, ourselves, we can change our characters.
Yeah.
Every now and then we become a different person. We innovate, create. So do they represent someone?
Actually, sometimes present people in my mind without even thinking, and myself, because I change my hair color a lot. So it depends on the mood, actually.
So when it comes to the mood, I think a lot of people usually prefer different timing to work.
Yes, yes.
So when is the best time for you, Anoud, to work on the dolls?
Honestly, my favorite time of making dolls, midnights and nighttime. Never in the morning.
Never,
Because
not a
I do
morning
my
person.
own live music. Yeah, that's how. Yeah, I'm a night person.
Of course.
To do the kind
I think
of crafting.
even last time, Abdulatif, one of the artists, also mentioned that he likes to work at night.
At night, yes.
Yes,
Not
I
in
think
the
that's
morning.
that's very interesting that most artists actually prefer to work at night.
It's a good thing because sometimes your family sleep.
Yeah,
And also
exactly.
you have nothing to do except maybe doing your work.
Yeah.
And at the morning you can do some exercising.
Yes, I have
for
my
your
whole
health.
day.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Spread the time. And of
Yeah,
course you have that,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, of course. I do my workout in the morning, like he said. So yeah, I have my whole day. That's why. Exactly.
And I wanted to ask you about the dolls that you brought with you. Can you tell us about it?
It's like, you know, this kind of, I'm using a fabric, fully fabric, canvas fabric.
And usually these kind of dolls, how long do they take for you to work on? Because you mentioned sometimes it takes a month to
Yeah.
actually create them.
Actually, these dolls took for me 3 days, a week, 2 days.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
The biggest one is 2 days.
Yeah.
Of course.
And these crafts that you are creating, of course you had the idea since you were a kid.
Yes.
But of course right now you have a certificate
Yeah.
and you are right now organized.
Yes.
can you tell us by who and when did you get that certificate?
It was a couple of years ago, 2019, 2020. I've been participating in so many contests online, and I've been selected to be a brown member by the Professional Doll Making Guild there in California States. And also I got a certificate of one-of-a-kind doll because I created my own category called mixed media, which means I'm using different materials in one figure. So I've been qualified as a doll maker internationally.
I think that's very impressive, and we're really proud of you and your achievements. Of course, your work speaks for itself. And we'd like to know, who's your biggest fan?
My biggest fan is my mom and dad.
I think
they are number one.
It's very important to have family support.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of family support, can you tell us how is the family support with you?
Honestly, my number one support was my mom, still my mom. She's giving me the whole space. She gave me the basement because I play and love music. So, and as well, I have my time to do the dolls. So she gave me my own space.
I think that's very important, especially to actually have your own space, your own workshop, without anybody interfering, coming in and out and disturbing your peace. I think that's one of the most important things to actually have.
Yeah,
It is.
and actually sharing with her the tools. So she's doing crafts, papers and stuff. So we're sharing.
Of course, you're both artists, so
actually,
I think it's normal for you guys to work together.
Exactly.
That's a good thing. And also, I wanted to ask you about since you have the certificate and you still have the basement for you. That's a good thing because right now you're also giving courses and you're also trying to do your own business. But you said before the interview that you want to create your own line for dolls making. How is that working with you?
The thing is, this is one of my goals, to reach a point to collaborate with fashion designers, to be the stores, you know, that kind of as a line, as a brand myself. So yeah, this is what I'm aiming for. I'm working on it.
Of course, Anoud, we have a lot more questions for you, but we have a very interesting report we'd like you to watch. Also, our dear viewers, ladies and gentlemen, please stay with us for more.
Anoud Al-Khalfan, an incredibly talented Kuwaiti girl, is deeply passionate about art, dolls, and crafts. From a young age, she started crafting dolls and transformed this childhood hobby into a flourishing business as she matured. Her love for doll making has only grown stronger, fueled by her dedication and creativity. Anoud is highly skilled in using raw materials such as pottery, cotton, and various colors, as well as other materials to bring her unique vision to life. Her doll designs stand out from the crowd as they're not only peculiar and extraordinary, but also highly customized to meet the specific requirement of her clientele. Each doll is lovingly handcrafted and comes in a one-of-a-kind size, making them highly sought after by collectors and enthusiasts alike. On festive occasions or other special events, Anoud loves to share her creations as handmade dolls, showcasing them as cherished gifts that are sure to leave lasting impression. Her remarkable work has not gone unnoticed, as she received international recognition after participating in a prestigious puppet show competition. As a result of her outstanding performance and innovative doll design, Anoud was awarded an international certificate as a member of the Professional Puppet Makers Syndicate. This remarkable achievement has put her in the global spotlight, joining the ranks of esteemed doll industry professionals from around the world. Anoud's dedication, talent, and distinctive designs continue to inspire many aspiring artists and have set a new standard for the art of doll making.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Of course, I know that was a very interesting report from your work. So what did you think about that report?
Amazing, I loved it.
Of course, I think that was an amazing way for our dear viewers to see how you work from scratch, from drawing the doll before you even start with it, the materials. I think there's a lot of materials when creating the doll.
Yes, and there are also many steps that I've seen in the report. I didn't know. I saw like drying the doll with the hair drying.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Maybe that was because the paint, you use paint, you have to dry them.
Yes, I use paint.
Oh, so it dry. Okay.
Yeah, I have to dry the paint so I can go to the next step.
Can you show us the project?
The project is Sarah. This is the one.
Okay, so we have her right here in the studio.
Yeah,
of
she's
course.
here. So yeah, I've been using fabrics, cotton. She's stuffed with cotton, and the colors from Textile brand, so it can be more fixed on the face, and also the hair is it's artificial. It's not real. It's one of the. I also make the wigs as well.
Okay,
so, yeah,
so you start them from
like
scratch.
The small. Yes.
Of course.
Sometimes I buy the wigs and I make it in small pieces. Depends on the doll head. So that's how it goes with me. And yeah, and I mix a lot of things sometimes with the fabric. Not only one kind. Cotton, canvas. Kono, like there's so many names of the cottons.
Yes, can you tell us about the materials? I'm sure there's a lot of different types of materials when it comes to creating the dolls, and each one has different materials. So we're really interested to know more about them. Can you tell us, please, more in details?
Yeah, I'm using stainless steel. It's the inner piece of the body, so it's going to be adjustable. And I'm using canvas fabric as well, threads. It's with a needle, brushes. Fabric colors, acrylic colors, oil colors, most of the colors.
You have to be creative.
I'm using everything. New. You know that concept, use whatever you have?
Yes.
That's what I'm doing with it depends on the doll.
That's why your art is so special and different, because you use everything that can be created into art, you use it. I think that's very impressive and amazing, especially with your doll collection. So where do you usually get these items, the materials?
Usually I get them online on the art shop, but the materials, especially for the fabric, it's not available in most of the store here in Kuwait, so I usually go for online. And sometimes they're out of stock, so I have to find alternatives. So
you have to be
that's
creative.
One of the challenges.
Yes, of course, because I think every artist usually have a lot of different challenges. So with you, it's sometimes the materials.
Yeah, like I have to go and come up with an alternative, and that's the hardest part. But alhamdulillah, I'm doing well. I'm being flexible.
Of course, I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a really good thing. And also, what's really interesting that every time when you get bored of the way that you are creating your dolls, you try to create your own way, a new way.
Yeah.
Like maybe the way you put the hair, or you maybe draw the faces, and it's a good thing.
It is.
But we want to know who's your biggest critic?
Me, myself.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
And how is that? Maybe you have also someone in the family?
Of course, but they're like more fun more than being critiqued, because everything I do, they loved it. Even though it's not, to me, I've never been satisfied. Sometimes I just ruin the doll just because I don't like it. I do on her again, so that's
of course, I think that's very important, that actually if you are having trouble with the doll, you just recreate it again. You don't throw your art away, but you just use it again in a different way. I think that's a very important
I just totally ruin it.
Yeah, but it's
just a feeling, you know.
You know, sometimes you get this kind of feeling as an artist. That's why you critique yourself.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons.
Like I'm the number one. So
yes,
there's so many critiques, of course.
Because you have a specific idea in your mind and you want it to be perfect.
Exactly, yeah.
But also maybe since you started a business a while ago and you sold many of your dolls, maybe some of your customers will say something and maybe will give you advices and help you with that also.
Honestly, the only complaints I'm getting from customers is the time, because sometimes they need it in certain occasions, especially birthdays. So sometimes when they request, like for tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, it's impossible for me because I'm fully booked mostly in the week or in the month. So that's the only complaints. For them, whoever requests their dolls, they appreciate the handmade. So whatever the outcome, they just love it. Alhamdulillah, so
good.
far, yeah. Even though, like, I tell them, like, even if it's gonna be portrait or copying someone else figure and stuff, it's been always like, it depends. They always know it's not gonna be 100% copy because it's a doll, so.
Yes, of
They
course.
like, yeah, they just appreciate the art.
Of course.
And also you have some difficulty on your way. Can you tell us about it?
My number one difficulties, beside the time, is the materials, my tools. And sometimes I couldn't find them online, being out of stock, so I have to find alternatives. So yeah, that's the most difficulties I've been facing.
Of course, and there's also the highlight events of your journey. I'm sure there's a lot of highlights, especially for artists.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about them?
Honestly, the highlights, I've been participating in so many contests online. Back then, COVID, so I've been like in one place and have to just go through the online and doing my courses, and you know, that's kind of highlights. I've been there and being participating in international contests with the other doll makers. I've been introduced. So yeah, that was the best time.
I think that must have been an amazing experience
yes,
to
I've
share
been,
with
yeah,
a lot of
exactly.
people.
Yeah, I've been know so many other artists in the same dolls making. So yeah.
So did you share your experience together,
course,
learn
yeah.
from each other?
And we learn. Yeah, we share the tools and you know this kind of advices, and yeah, it's been amazing.
I think that's amazing, and it's very important for artists to communicate with one another and even exchange their ways.
Yeah, it's like a community, a whole community of the doll making. So yeah, it was fun.
It's a good thing, and of course you're so proud of yourself and your family proud of you, because since you are invited to international exhibitions where also you met other artists.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask Anoud, did Anoud achieve her goal yet?
Honestly, I have. Once I reach whatever goal, always I'm like, I'm gonna go for another one. You know, it's like opportunities there, and I was like satisfied whenever I reach something, and of course. For making my online, this is my dream and my goal. So, inshallah,
online.
Yes.
And that's a good thing. But since you are young and you already achieved a lot of your goals, and that's actually a wonderful thing, because a lot of people, they only achieve their own long distance goals since they are in the 40s or like late 40s. But do you think that these goals, since you got it at a young age, will maybe slow you down at your future?
Actually, the opposite, because my dolls, I call them forever dolls. So whenever I get to achievement or being satisfied with the outcome, I will never stop, because this is the idea of my dolls. I always on being updated and be there, never stop. So no, they're gonna push me forward for more. And more opportunities, of course.
Of course, I think sometimes your achievements really inspire you to do more, because you achieved this far.
Yeah.
You can go more. You can persuade yourself into creating something new. You have new goals, because I think every now and then we have new goals, because we're at the point like, what do we do now?
Yes.
Of course.
Like what next?
Yes.
So
that's true.
That's how it goes for me.
It's really good. Fatma, unfortunately we don't have any more time. I wish that we have more time so we can take more information about you and your journey. But before we end, do you have anything else to say to our dear viewers?
Thank you for having me.
It was our pleasure.
Yeah. And never stop what you're doing. And if you have a dream, always fight for it. That's what I can say to all people there.
Well, thank you so much for being here in the series of achievements. It was really a pleasure to have you. And for you, dear viewers who are watching us right now, we really hope you had all the information that you needed to know about Anoud in our program with different topics every day. So see you again in another episode.
And goodbye.